wanna take you for a ride. I 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 wanna take you for a ride.
Hey there guys, Mikey here, and welcome back to March Marvel Madness as presented by the Comic Junkies Corner. So, poll question, isn't there just a little part of you, just a teensy little part of you, that wants Nicolas Cage to be in the MCU? No, not Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage. He could be the savior in Endgame. He could just sneak up on Thanos in his bear suit like... Okay, maybe the MCU hasn't gotten that silly yet. So for now, I guess we could just settle for Ghost Rider 2. Yep, the sequel that hardly anyone knew existed to the movie that was... successful? Well, there's been sequels that have made under worse circumstances. Get out! Now I know March Marvel Madness is usually a series of shorter reviews, but since this year we're focusing more on the bad movies, I feel like they deserve more of a personal touch. So without further ado, let's get this madness underway. This is Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. So the movie opens up not wanting to piss off CinemaSins, so they speed through the logo. We're gonna circle back to that. It's at this point that we are presented with the plot.
Oh man!
A child, Danny, and his mother, Nadia, are under the protection of cybermonks led by Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Ironically, that's not the craziest thing that's in this movie. They are helped by a motorcyclist named Moreau, played by Idris Elba. Now, the mother and child are being pursued by a group of henchmen who work for the devil. Why are they after them, you ask? Because the child is the spawn of Satan, and if Satan can use his son as a vessel, he'll be able to have unlimited power on Earth. Now, this sounds like a basic, silly comic book plot, right? I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you could probably have a good, fun action romp with it. It should be really hard to mess this up. So, Satan's men attack the, Techistery, and Nadia and Danny escape. And to make sure the henchmen can't catch our escapees, Moreau enters the Matrix. Okay, before I go any further, I gotta say I love the look on Idris Elba's face. I swear when he turns around, it looks like he just figured out what kind of movie he's in. My God, what have I done? Okay, let's digest this opening. We'll start with the visual aspect, more specifically the editing, because, wow. It is all over the place, from random snap zooms to awkward sped up and slowed down footage, to the ever annoying shaky cam. I swear there's times where I felt like the cameraman just fell over. Oh, fuck. Okay, I got it, I'm good. And then there's the acting. Now, usually I don't fully fault the actors for their performance, because you never know what they're told to do. But there seems to be little to no direction here, so it's hard for me to fall back on that excuse. Idris Elba does fine, but everyone else is just either laughably bad or just not even trying. And this is all within the first 5 minutes of the movie. So yeah, this movie is definitely letting you know what you're going to be in for the next 90 minutes. So after we get the intro to the movie, we get another intro to the movie. What? Did I miss something? I'm not even kidding. We get some random narration from Johnny Blaze over some pretty ridiculous imagery, including the Ghost Rider taking a piss. Thank you for that image. And then we get Moreau showing up, and we get... wait, stop. Didn't you die?
If not for the intervention of God.
What? I have no words for that. I have no idea why Idris Elba is hanging upside down in a fake bush against bad blue screen while the French national anthem plays in the background. I'm sorry, that's not a sentence that I say every day. Anyway, Moreau pretty much explains to Johnny what we saw a few minutes ago. But Johnny is reluctant to be the rider once again. I guess that whole speech at the end of the first movie meant nothing. Unfortunately, this wouldn't be the last sequel to completely change a character's motivations for unjustifiable reasons. Get out! But Moreau convinces Johnny to help them by telling him that he could take away the curse, which he could have done at the end of the first movie. Okay, never mind. Moving on. So the bad guys find Nadia and Danny, but Johnny shows up as Ghost Rider to save the day. Now, Ghost Rider looked pretty cool in the first movie, but I have to say, as far as this as far as this, as far as Johnny, bad guys. Thank you. Now, as I was saying, Johnny in the first movie looked pretty cool, but Johnny, do Ghost Rider things. Okay, so yeah, Ghost Rider does look cooler, but when he shows up, we get these weird, long, awkward pauses that just make it weird. Even the actors are confused. Look at this guy. Unfortunately, the Ghost Rider is defeated because the henchmen blow him up. But he's on fire, so can you do that? Anyway, the henchmen kidnap Danny and Johnny wakes up hours later in the hospital. How did he get there? Why is he there? Why is no one supervising him? Frick you, says the movie. It's too bad the bad guys got away though. And since it's daylight, Johnny can't really call on the Rider to help him out, so it seems he's kind of stuck. Well, good thing Nadia's in the same hospital. How did she get there? Why is she there? How is she still there hours after the kidnapping in the same hallway as Johnny? Frick you, says the movie. So they steal a tow truck and partake in some deep conversation to promote some serious character development.
You're the devil's baby, mama.
Meanwhile, the devil and lead hench guy, I honestly don't even remember what this character's name is, in case you're wondering why I haven't brought him up, if that's any key into how much development he has on screen. The devil and lead hench hombre are having a conversation while the editor does his best to make you feel like a cat chasing a laser. Seriously, what are you doing? I think they were going for the whole comic panel thing like Ang Lee did with the Hulk, but it's so freaking distracting. I don't even remember what the devil and henchman guy number 1 are talking about. Something about a firewall on the kid so the Rider can't find him, but the Rider can still find hench guy Prime, so it's like, what was even the point of that? But Nadia and Johnny find a lead by way of random dude number 1. So they interrogate him and we get possibly the most entertaining part of the movie. Drumroll please. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Nicolas Cage freakout. Begin.
See, you're a bad man. And this thing, the Rider, he feeds on them and he's hungry. Scraping at the door! Scraping at the door! All right, if you don't tell me what I want to know, I'm gonna let him out.
Wait. We're not done. There's more. Nicolas Cage, please never die. So the Ghost Rider finds the henchman and they blow him up again. But this time it doesn't hurt him. Because reasons. No, he just spins around in awkward edit mode before hopping into a machine and turning it into a giant flaming chainsaw.
Groovy.
The Rider rescues Danny and they, along with Nadia, ride in search of the next monastery. Now it's Danny's turn to have a conversation with Johnny, so we can learn more about Danny since the entire plot revolves around him. So what kind of meaningful conversation are they going to partake in?
Hey, what if you have to pee when you're on fire?
Meanwhile, the devil shows up at the scene of the massacre and decides to rescue hench dude bro number 1 by giving him the power of decay. He is henceforth known as Blackout, a supervillain that can decay anything he touches. You know, except the car he's driving, the clothes he's wearing, the ground he's standing on. You know, stuff that makes sense. Our good guys find the next monastery led by Christopher frickin' Lambert. Okay, so you have Raiden from Mortal Kombat, Heimdall from Thor, Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Nicolas Cage all in the same movie? Why is this not more awesome?
You are failing!
True to their word, they relieve Johnny of his curse, but of course Blackout finds them and slaughters everyone at the monastery. The devil begins the ritual with Danny, but it's interrupted by Johnny. Danny, not being pure evil yet, restores the Ghost Rider's powers, and the Ghost Rider sends Blackout and all of Satan's followers to hell. And now, it's time. The final battle. 2 movies in the making. Lucifer versus Johnny. Mephisto versus Ghost Rider.
God versus man. Day versus night.
So what move does our Prince of Darkness have up his sleeve? Run like a bitch. Can you imagine if every boss character in movies, like instead of fighting, just took off running at the end of the movie? You think you've defeated me? I am a god. You are but a mere boy, an ant beneath my boot. You leave me with no choice. But of course, the Ghost Rider catches up to him and, in a pretty awesome scene, sends the devil back to hell. Too bad the ending makes no sense because the Ghost Rider isn't supposed to have power in the daytime, but let's be real, that's like the 15th thing wrong with this movie. And as usual, the Ghost Rider saves the day and rides off a la Western style. So yeah, this movie's pretty awful. As I said earlier, the acting is either phoned in or laughably bad. The editing is jarring as all get out, and that's putting it lightly. Outside of Johnny, all the other characters are just boring and have little to no character development. There are movie-breaking plot holes, writing inconsistencies within the movie itself, let alone the franchise, and the effects, save for a few of Ghost Rider's moments, are pretty hard to look at. Like I said, awful. But I still really like it. I know I'm the worst, but this movie just ranges in the so bad it's good territory. I love just the sheer amount of idiocy this movie throws at you. Some of the action scenes, when you can follow them, are pretty cool. And of course, there is the Cage himself. Oh my gosh, does this man ever bring the hilarity to the movie? I often compare this to a sci-fi original. You know, one of those movies that's just mindless nonsense, but it's so nonsensical that you just have to laugh at it. I'll admit, I've been known to groan through the parts where the movie slows down because it's boring dialogue that doesn't go anywhere, or it tells me something that I already saw in a previous scene. And the editing is beyond annoying at times. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't entertained. This movie is just the right amount of stupid for me. And to give you even more reason to look at me with wide eyes, this was the first movie I bought on Blu-ray. This one. You're questioning my sanity now, aren't you? Well, my therapist already does that, so there. So anyway, that's my review of Ghost Rider 2. Be sure to leave your thoughts for the film, or on my sanity, down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned, because more March Marvel Madness is on the way.
Hell yes.
I wanna take you for a ride.